Welcome to Real Estate Innovators Radio, featuring industry influencers and trendsetters, sharing proven strategies to help you build a better business today. And here is your host, Keith Doherty.
Hello and welcome to this episode of our show. This is your host, Keith Doherty. Today our special guest is luxury real estate agent Jade Mills, founder of Jade Mills Estates Worldwide and premier real estate agent of Coldwell Banker, based out of Beverly-Hills, California. With over 30 years of experience in the luxury real estate market, Beverly-Hills real estate agent Jade Mills is renowned among colleagues and clients alike for her integrity, loyalty, and professionalism. She has been continuously named a top producing agent and has been an honored member of the Society of Excellence. For 2012, Jade was ranked the #1 real estate agent in the world for Coldwell Banker and achieved the highest sales volume on record of any agent in Coldwell Banker history. Now, Jade continued through the end of 2015, surpassing $4 billion in career sales. And yes, ladies and gentlemen, you heard me right. She surpassed $4 billion in career sales. So, Jade, welcome to the show.
Well, thank you so much, Keith. That's an amazing introduction. All I can say to that is wow.
Yeah, when my assistant had told me that she had booked you for the show, I was really excited when I read your biography, and I said, "Wow, you've achieved so much in your 30 years, and it's an honor for me to be able to have you here today. So thank you very much."
Well, it's actually my honor. Much for inviting me. It is my honor.
So, kind of, Jade, if we could start, what led you into real estate? Was it something that you always knew you wanted to do, or did you maybe kind of stumble into it?
Well, I did stumble into it. When I was much younger and met my first husband, I was doing commercials and some TV work and not making a lot of money. And I had a child, and when she was 3 months old, my husband left. And I was really floundering. I did not graduate from college, and at the time I was thinking, oh my gosh, this is not going to be good. So we sold the little house that we had purchased, and my real estate agent said to me, "What are you going to be doing?" And I said, "I have absolutely no idea." I said, "Maybe I'll go back to college. I really don't know." And he said, "Well, I think that you'd make an amazing real estate agent." And I mean, at the time I said, "Really? Well, thank you." And he said, "Yes, I want you to get your real estate license, and I want to train you." So that's where it all began.
Well, it's amazing sometimes how life pushes us in directions that we may not expect. But obviously, you looking back, you can obviously say that was probably a really great decision on your part.
It was a great decision, and I have to say, for all the new real estate agents, it is never easy in the beginning. It was tough. I mean, everybody says now, "Oh my gosh, you've been successful. It just is so easy for you." Well, as you grow in this business and as you become a name or a little bit successful, you have a much better chance of going for a listing appointment and actually getting that listing. So I feel very blessed, but it wasn't always easy.
Yeah, I can imagine. So, what personal attributes or traits or qualities do you think have most contributed to your success, and how do you think you developed those?
Well, perseverance and focus. But I think for me, the most important is integrity and honesty. And my dad was a dairy farmer, and I grew up with a mother and father who believed if you do the right thing, that you will always be successful, whether it's successful in life with happiness or financial, whatever it may be, you can be successful if you have integrity and if you try to always do the right thing. And my mother always used to say this, it resonates in my mind. The golden rule is what everyone should abide by. So do unto others. And I truly believe that if you do the right thing, I mean, every single real estate deal to this day, I think, is this the right buy? Is this the right move? And now my business is 95% referral. So just do the right thing and know you're doing the right thing, and you can be successful, I think, in any business.
Yeah, I think what you pointed out there is really important for our listeners to really pick up on and think about, and it kind of resonates with a lot of the other interviews that we've had on the show, is that, like you said, the golden rule, and I think it kind of, compounds with, treat others, like you want to be treated. So, do the right thing, always move forward with integrity, and things will happen for you, like you said, in time. It wasn't instant success, like you said, but you continuously were doing the right thing. You were helping people. You were acting in their best interest, and then, everything kind of manifested itself into what you have today.
Absolutely.
So do you think maybe you could give some specific examples of when you obviously used some of these traits and they played a role in your path towards success?
Well, yes. I have been on quite a few listing appointments, and I don't really feel that the right move is for those people to sell their homes. One of my doctors sent me to his parents. And he said, my parents want to sell their house. Can you go and talk to them? So I went to their home. It was a beautiful one-story, very appropriate home for 70-year-old retired people. And so after talking to them, they said, well, we don't really want to sell, but our children think it's time. And so I said to them, work this out in your mind. Call your accountant. See if selling your home and going to a condominium, which is going to be about the same price, is really what you should be doing, because it looks like you want to stay here. And it looks like this is the best place for you to be. And this area is now going up in value. So they did. And my doctor called me and said, how can I thank you? Financially, it's going to be much better for my parents who don't have a mortgage and have very, very, very low property taxes to stay in their home. Well, that home now has probably gone up by $4 million. So this is something that I truly believed they would be better. I was not concerned with making that commission. I was concerned with having them be in a place that was best for them. And this has happened quite a few times. I went yesterday on a listing appointment, and I told the people I thought it was best that they remodel and stay in their home. So that has come back to me over and over and over again through referral business.
Yeah, I think it's important. What the point you made there is that to really listen to people, to understand their needs, and to realize what, at the end of the day, what's the best thing. You weren't focused on, okay, here's another listing, here's, potential dollar signs. But at the end of the day, what's the ideal benefit of these people? What are they trying to achieve? And like you said, with that couple, it wasn't moving. And ideally, you can look back and say, look, the market has matured. They've increased a lot the value, as well as their son come back to you and said, thank you for helping them and guiding them in the right direction. Versus you could have probably went there and talked them into a listing based upon your knowledge and experience. But like you said, that wasn't really what they wanted.
No, and they got what they wanted, and they're very grateful, and they're very happy. I think part of my pleasure in this business is having the buyer and the seller happy at the end of a transaction. And I have a fabulous staff, and we do everything we can to try to make it a pleasant situation, buying or selling.
Yeah, I think that speaks volumes. That and I think it's contributed itself to how you've built your business up. So obviously, in this 30 years that you've had growth, and you've achieved all these levels of success, and being the number one agent, and all these different sales goals. It probably didn't come all easy to you. Obviously, as you said, you started out as a single mother, but basically, if you could maybe talk about what are some of the major adversities and trials that you had to overcome in order to get where you are today?
Oh, well, in the very beginning, I didn't have help, and I didn't have a babysitter at all times. So I used to take my oldest daughter with me, and we would door knock. I don't even know if people still door knock. But we used to door knock, and I would take her little hand, and we would walk up to the door. And Spike Dresser, who trained me, said, that's not so bad. You're going to be going to homes, and they have children, and they are going to relate to you bringing your daughter, and you know, it's a very family situation. Well, it was really tough. I mean, door knocking was very tough. And, of course, people would close the door and open it and say, what do you want? And I suppose I grew up a very sheltered life. And it was very, very hard. The rejection in the beginning, I think, was very hard to overcome. My daughter, who is now grown and has 2 children of her own, said, Mom, I do remember one time when we walked up to a door and the woman was very rude and slammed the door, and you cried. And I said, yes, I do remember. I mean, and she remembers, and she was probably 4 years, not older than 4. So it's very hard. I think also this was not really my client's issue, but my issue for many years was I didn't graduate from college, and I felt a little insecure about that. So I had to overcome that. But I think, you know, once you have a little success and you feel like you've done the right thing and you feel like you've had the experience of buying and selling and making people happy and finding people's dream homes, you overcome a lot of those insecurities and a lot of those, I guess, adversities.
Yeah, I think we have a lot of listeners to the show that are in the sales field, and basically to a lot of successful people we've talked to that are in a sales field, a lot of them started and they didn't realize, you know, the door-to-door type thing.
Yeah.
And it's interesting to, even in real estate, I had never heard of somebody talking about actually going door to door and that, so that really speaks volumes that you were committed, and here you had your daughter and you're like, hey, I'm gonna make this happen. I gotta go out and do it, and you know, to knock on doors with, you know, it's not even like you had a vacuum cleaner or a tangible product. You were probably offering, you know, real estate services if they wanted to sell, or if maybe they were looking to move. So that to me is, I mean, that's a huge foundation that you came from.
Well, I think I was very lucky to have parents who told me I could do anything I wanted to do. And if that is instilled in your brain, you really can do anything that you put your mind to. And I really feel that to this day. If there's anything that you really want to do, perseverance, hard work, and focus. Focus is a good word there too, because you really have to focus on your goals. And don't give up. Just don't give up.
Yeah, I think that's huge, and that kind of leads me to my next point here. Is obviously you had obstacles, you know, and I'm sure that was, you know, getting started. So you could have easily at that point said, you know what, this I'm getting rejected. Maybe this real estate thing isn't for me. Maybe I need to go take some courses. Maybe I need to get a degree. Maybe I need to reconsider this. So why didn't you give up? What kept you moving forward?
I didn't give up because once I had a little bit of a positive experience, it pushed me on. And once I had a few sales, and the difference between the previous job I had and selling real estate was just night and day. I mean, real estate and doing something for someone else and seeing these people happy gave me pleasure. So I think that I always felt that I could do it. 1 or 2 sales, and I thought, okay, I can do the next one. I can do the next one. Not that I didn't feel many times like, oh my gosh, this might be the last listing or the last sale I ever have, because I did feel that way. But having someone just say to me, thank you, we love our home, we love our condominium, we love whatever they enjoyed out of what I could do for them, kept me going.
Yeah, I think that's great that you had had experienced the negative, and you could have easily tapped into that and said, okay, I'm done. But I think what's paramount with what you did, and it's important to point out for our listeners, is that you held on to the positive, right? You looked at the other side and said, okay, I got a success. Let me focus on that. And then that led to the next success and the next success, and you kept moving forward with your eye on the goal of, I'm always going to move forward, and you kind of just looked past the negativity as kind of like a learning experience, like, okay, I did it, and now I'm moving on, I'm going to focus on that success.
Exactly. Along with, I must say, the financial part of selling real estate gave me the freedom to buy a little house, to then I started buying little homes, fixing and selling them. And then after about 4 of those, I was able to buy and fix and keep. And I started with some rental properties. So the financial goals were also, once I started with the financial goals of buying and either leasing or buying and selling, it was very, very rewarding for me.
Yeah, I definitely can see how that, like you said, to focus on that, and you knew that they're probably, outside of what you were doing, the financial success could not be as great. Like you said, you continue to build and flip and sell, and I think that really helped, continue to move you forward.
Yes.
So obviously you've achieved quite a bit already in the 30 years of your real estate career. Where do you see your vision kind of going in the next, say, 5 years? Where do you see things going?
Well, that's funny you ask, Keith. My children are always saying to me, I now have grandchildren, and my children are always saying, Mom, when are you going to slow down? I feel that I do have balance in my life. My children and my grandchildren have always come first, but they do understand that if someone's calling me and they have an issue and they must talk right away, I feel that I can balance that, but my children are important, my clients are important, but I feel that I finally have that handled so I can balance. I don't want to retire. I love what I do. I love the excitement of the deal. I love a new deal. I love something new. I love to keep learning different things in real estate. So the next 5 years, I plan on maybe not taking every single listing. I have become a little more careful just about taking everything. And there are definitely people that now I will go on a listing appointment and I will say, I don't think I'm the right agent for you, where I would never do that in the past. But I just think when it's not going to be right, and when it is going to be right. So I think I can just be a little bit more careful about what I take, and I want a very positive experience every single deal. I don't want anything where someone is going to end up saying, I'm not happy. I would rather not have those people in my life at this point.
Yeah, I think it's great what you pointed out is you've come to a level where you, like you said, you don't have to necessarily take on every listing in order to achieve what you want to achieve with what you have set as your goals. And I think it's great to get to that point where you can, essentially now it's almost like you flipped it where you have to, basically you're interviewing the homeowner and making sure that they're a fit for what you're looking for in the listing versus maybe the homeowner trying to, interview real estate agents.
To some degree. I mean, we still have to, I don't get every listing. If I don't, I'm not happy. And I think, oh my gosh, what did I do wrong? But you can't get every single listing. And, I do go on some listings and I think, what did I do wrong? I can't figure out what I did wrong. But you're not right for everyone, and everybody isn't right for me. So that is something that is still hard, but I have accepted.
Yeah, definitely. I think definitely. So what do you, now obviously it sounds like based upon the reputation, referral business you have, marketing might not play a big as role as it would for you, but do you do anything to actively market yourself to grow in the manner that you want to, or maybe to attract the kind of listings that you'd like to get?
Well, my husband sort of drives that bus. He does a lot of the of my advertising, of my personal advertising. I have Stephanie in my office who is great with the advertising of my properties, and we work together to do fabulous and beautiful ads for The View, which is the Coldwell Banker insert into the LA Times and things like that. But my husband actually does my personal marketing, and sometimes I don't even see that before it goes out, and sometimes I'm a bit horrified. But he does a lot of my personal advertising, and he still believes that name recognition, no matter what, is very important. So we advertise in the playbill for the theaters, and he does a lot of creative advertising, personal advertising for me.
Excellent. That's great. So I think there's a lot of maybe misconceptions or sometimes myths about when people work with agents. So what do you think the biggest misconception or myth about having, to work with a real estate agent?
Well, many times in the past, not so much today, people used to think they didn't need a real estate agent at all. And I have to say, real estate agents today have a much better reputation than they did when I first started. But there are still agents who may not do the right thing, and there are still people who have not had a great relationship with a real estate agent. So, I mean, sometimes we have to get over that. Again, since a lot of my business today is referral, usually by the time I get to a buyer or a seller, someone has already said, this is who you want to use because she's ethical and she's not going to direct you in the wrong way. But I think, many times we'll go on a listing and they'll say, well, we know how real estate agents are. So there still is a misconception that we're sort of salespeople that just want to sell anything. And that's just, that's definitely not the case.
Yeah, I think from obviously speaking to you here today, and I've interviewed quite a few top agents like yourself, and I think the common denominator seems to be across the board is that you're not necessarily a salesperson, that you truly you care about other people, you sit down and listen to their needs, and then, like you said, if you feel that you're a good fit, you may offer your services, or if you feel it's not the right time, you would also let them know that. And I think that tends to be the common theme that we're hearing with these interviews. And I think it's important to point out that to be successful in sales, obviously in real estate, you don't have to be that pushy, hard, nose type closer where you're trying to, persuade or use NLP type tactics on people to get them to work with you. If you do the right thing, if you treat a person exactly how you'd like to be treated, and you focus on their needs and how you can really help them, the money and the success seems to just kind of come with the territory.
You're absolutely right. I just one quick story. I have a life insurance friend actually, who came to me through my attorney years and years and years ago, and he's brilliant. I think he's brilliant, but he has always looked out for us and always done the right thing. And I've referred him to many, many people. And he said to me, oh gosh, I don't know if I can take on any more. And I honestly have to beg him to take people on, because I truly believe that he will look out for anyone and everyone that I refer him to. And, the insurance salespeople don't have the best reputation sometimes either. And if you can find someone in any field that is you really feel that you can trust, you are going to refer those people. So referral business, I mean, I know I've said this over and over, but doing the right thing, you will get referral business, and that is the best kind.
Yeah, I definitely agree with you there, and I think that because people like, the word of others. And sometimes even, not necessarily even people they know, you even think about if, like my wife and I are in a new city, we'll bring up an app on our phone and we'll look for a certain kind of restaurant, and then you'll look at the reviews. What are other people saying about this? What are people, so it's even more powerful when it's a personal friend, and say, oh, hey, here's my agent, here's, use her, use Jade because I've worked with her, she'll take care of you. That just, and that, like you said, that speaks volumes that it's not even about having to go kind of do a presentation. It's about, hey, so-and-so recommended you. When can you get started? When can you help us?
Exactly. And we also try to be very, very full service. So if people need a painter, trash removal, no matter what it is, we can help them. We can supply that person. And it isn't that hard. You make a list of the people who have done great work, whether it's a handyman or a plumber, whoever it is. You make that list, and when someone asks you, you can be a very full-service broker just by having a list by your phone.
Yeah, that like you said, and the homeowners, there's enough that they probably have on their mind already, and so to be able to take away some of that stress, like you said, if they need some landscaping or some staging or some painting, and people in the field that you would trust and recommend, then you can save them a lot of trouble by saying, hey, we have so-and-so that can help you with that.
Exactly.
So it's kind of a hypothetical question. Let's say you get a call from a family member. Let's say I give you a call and I say, Jade, hey, we're looking to sell the house here in Florida. We're gonna make the move. We're coming to California. We're gonna come out there and we're ready to go. What advice would you give me or anybody about selecting an agent that could best serve their needs, kind of like you serve your people?
Well, I think right today, I think it's very important to have a great website. And a lot of people will say, call me. Well, that is all great. But if you have a great website, and I have an amazing website that connects to other agents all across the United States. I mean, we have an agent in New York, Florida, Deer Valley. We have someone in Hawaii. All of our websites connect. And I think to have an amazing website with not only homes, but information, and places where you can go and look at the schools, you can Google the city, all those things on your website, and it's a one-stop shop to see your area and to know a little bit about you is probably the best thing you can do.
Yeah, I think that's important what you said, because when you're making the move, especially families with children, like you said, you want to check out the schools, you want to check out the neighborhood, because a lot of times, we've moved in the past personally, and you get to an area and you're like, oh, we didn't realize this about it, or we didn't know, or you discover things. So it'd be almost neat to almost kind of experience, so what's the neighborhood like, what are the schools like, where's everything we can go, what kind of restaurant, all that kind of stuff. So I think it's great that you go back to that kind of serving the customer's needs and say, well, here's the areas, here's the schools, here's what you can expect. And I think that'll help people, like you said, to be able to make a decision on that.
And, most of us have some free time. It's great to have all of this at your fingertips. So when people ask, we now know about all the schools, because it's very important if you're moving here to know all about the private schools, all about the public schools. If you have all that information, I always say knowledge is king. When you're talking to a new client, whether it's a client coming in from a different city or a client that lives 5 blocks from you, and they ask you questions, you need to know the answers, whether it's schools, whether it's restaurants, whatever it is, whether it's who sold the house across the street from me. It's very, very important that you know the answers to their questions.
Yeah, I think it's important what you said, because I think that they're going to have more confidence in you, that you know exactly what's going on. If you're especially a specialist in an area, You know who sold the other houses. You know where the best schools are. You know all these different kind of things, and I think that'll boost somebody's trust and confidence in you. Like, oh, I asked Jade this, this, and this, and she had all the answers. So she obviously knows what's going on. So I think that speaks volumes as well.
Yes, agree.
So if somebody's looking to find out more information about you, you obviously mentioned that you put all this design and development into your website. Where's the best place that people can find out more about you and how you can help them?
Well, my website, but I mean, I think for me, the most important thing you can do is call me because I'm old-fashioned, I guess, that way, but I love to have a conversation with someone and be able to really hear their voice and hear what they're looking for and what's important to them by talking to them. But you can always go to my website, which is www.jademills.com, and it has all of my information and anything that you would ever need to know about me, and my biography, everything you need to know. But I love the personal phone call, so that would be great too.
All right, excellent. Well, I just want to take the time to kind of close the show out by thanking you, Jade, again for taking time out of your busy schedule and to share your business experience with our listeners. And everybody, if you're listening, if you want to find out more information about Jade, we're going to put a link below this actual interview. She mentioned jademills.com, as well as we'll have her number and any other contact information so that you can contact her. So with that said, Jade, thank you so much. I really appreciate you taking the time to be on the show here today.
Keith, it's absolutely my pleasure. It's been wonderful. Thanks so much, and have a great day.
All right, everybody. Until our next show, have a great day, and we'll talk to you guys all soon.
Bye-bye.
Thanks for listening to Real Estate Innovators Radio. To hear all episodes featuring leading real estate industry influencers and trendsetters, visit us online at realestateinnovatorsradio.com today.